Is profanity professional? I hypothesize that if a channel has videos that contain profanity, then it's more likely that viewership will be less than channels without profanity in their videos. Or, how about a theory? There is an adverse relationship between profanity and viewership. Well, look into the statistics when we return. Before I begin, I need to thank Jonathan Drake for providing the additional resources used for this data. Without him, I wouldn't have gotten some of the numbers that I needed because I was doing it the hard way, which is not the best way. So, in doing this research, I had some rules. So, the first one is all of the channels that I selected had to be chosen through the YouTube algorithm based upon my viewing habits. So, your results may vary. 2. The channels are all pop culture fandoms based around animation, anime, comic books, movies, technology, television, toys, and video games, because I'm a nerd. 3. At least 5 videos from each channel were viewed, as in I spend a lot of hours watching your videos if you're one of these channels. All the videos must have been online for at least 24 hours, because I did pick 5 videos, which you'll see in the research, for just some minimal sampling. That way I had, some initial data to start with. Again, I originally started doing this the hard way before Jonathan interacted with me and checked my research. All the videos had to be at least 5 minutes long, because sometimes you guys post, or when I say you guys, I mean the channels, they post little updates. Hey, it's blah, I'm going to be doing this next month. Thanks for watching, 1 minute. I don't count those. Well, at least in the initial data set. All channel content viewed is considered for classification and statistical analysis. So, while I at least saw 5 videos, I may have watched a lot more videos for some channels than I did others. And, you may have sworn one video and I just didn't see it. But if I did catch it, it was, that's why you got the rating system in which I have placed and thus classified you under. And I know I keep talking like I'm talking to the channels, but go with me on this one. So then all the data was gathered between January 12th and 25th of 2019. So basically 2 weeks. So I made the classifications 3. So they're the clean channels, which are Ass, Hell, and Damn are pretty much as bad as it gets. Then there are the filtered channels, which is salty but bleeped. And now salty is if they generally cannot be said on television, network television more specifically, because I surely won't say it, and I'm not going to repeat it here. So I made some exceptions. Geekdom 101 does not swear at a salty level, but he's guests do, which... you can't control the people. Spawnwave does not swear, but he does not filter his external sources, because he is a news site. I get it. But local news, they filter theirs. Well, I don't know why he doesn't filter his, but whatever. RGT85 and Review Tech USA really do not like when Soulja Boy pirates software. I don't care for it either, but, they really were angry about it. In-game language is ignored. So if they're streaming live video, I can't help it. Red Dead Redemption 2 has some swearing. Grand Theft Auto 5. I'm not picking on Rockstar in general. It just happens to be the nature of the beast. We can't control the content of video games. So we start with some basic slides with some data here. Now, I'm going to go real quick through the actual channels I picked, which again, through the randomized algorithm of YouTube. Chris Mcfeely, he does mainly Transformers, but animation in general. Some comic book stuff, he actually works with IDW. Gaming Historian is video game documentaries. They're very educational and they're somewhat entertaining. Baseco X, he works for Team 4-Star, but he also does his own Dragon Ball related and sometimes video game stuff. Modern Vintage Gamer, video games. Duh. NerdSync, pretty much jack of all trades. He does a lot of docu stuff, and I really enjoy it. New rock stars, they're spoilers. If you want to see a movie coming up, don't watch them. They will spoil it for you. But they warn you, so, you know, you get heads up. Nintendo Life, it's all about Nintendo. The Game Theorist, that's M.P.A. He's right now a bit of controversy with some plagiarism complaints. Otherwise, he actually gets invited to game companies and does skits with them. So, I mean, his subscriber and viewer numbers don't lie. The Gamer, it's General Hushposh Gaming. Totally not Mark. I believe also from Team 4 Star. He's also pretty Dragon Ball centric. He's kind of just whatever he feels like. Variant Comics, they do mini docs or documentaries on various comic book characters and some movie stuff, and it is pretty good. CBR, the comic book resource, kind of like Variant, although they're more pop culture-y with it. I don't know how else to explain it. You really got to check it out for yourself. Geekdom 101. So he is heavy Dragon Ball. He does some other things, video games, but he will like. So Masiko X will do what if conversations. Geekdom will have a full-on conversation about a 2-minute trailer, and then what if scenarios based on it. It's a different spin. Anyway, Little Karibo, Team 4 Star, Dragon Ball. Well, he does he has this Yu-Gi-Oh! Bridge thing. Yeah, of course, Dragon Ball. There's a number of things he does. Nerdist. If you don't know who Nerdist is, I'm sorry. You're not a nerd. Maybe you're a geek. I don't. Nerdist is they have their hands in everything. The Walking Dead, most notably, I guess. Scott the Waz. He is just one string bean of a kid that is hilarious. I don't know. I think he's trying to be, but hopefully he is. Spawnwave is a tech guy. Used to work at GameStop, and he just loved taking apart systems. And the youngest site on here, this dude knows his stuff. Toy Galaxy, I swear they live in an old KB toy store, but it's toy documentaries. I watched one, and then I watched another, and it just streamed right through. Oh my, they're so entertaining, because there's things you don't know, you know? Wolf Den, video games. It's a lot of, they talk at you about what they feel about video games. If you like commentary, that's a good place to go. There's actually a couple of brothers involved, so it's not just one guy at a time. RGT85, I mean, video games, but I feel like he's angry. But I could say the same thing for Review Tech USA, because they both give me the, because first off, they do swear. They post a lot of content, and they like to complain, I guess is the word. Game ranks games, and then their headliner, I guess, is Falcon. And the one thing I have to mention about Game Ranks in particular is they don't care if they swear. Which you think of a professional organization such as Game Ranks or Watch Mojo or whatever, they would have a, let's filter some out, you know, kind of at least keep it PG-13 now. Screw Attack, Death Battles, for example, is one of their things. They're just who they are, man. Team 4 Star, as I mentioned, the other 2 or 3 above, this is where Dragon Ball Bridge comes from. If you've never heard of them, then you're probably not an anime fan. And then Watch Mojo, the king of countdown lists. So if you've never heard of them, and then you probably don't use the internet, and then how are you watching this video? Anyway, you can clearly see the subscribers and the total viewers. And so these big black numbers here are the combined for each list. There's cleans, filtered, salty. And then this is just the total number here because I needed it for some charts you're going to see. And then, of course, the percentage breakdowns for the videos, and then their percentage of subscriptions, you know, based on the total and these breakdown numbers. And then this is viewers based on those same, you know, these numbers here. Oh, math. What would we do without you? Okay, so of course these are the years these particular sites began. And for giggles, I did put my own down here. Why not? Okay, so average year subscription. So I broke it down based on just simply the divided by age to be more exact. You can see the breakdown here. So obviously, this is Watch Mojo, and this is M.P.A's channel, Game Theorist. I mean, look at 201 million average year views. But then that's 1 billion. I'm trying to up right here. Right here, average year views from Watch Mojo, 1 billion almost. So then I grabbed 5 videos, and there is a 5th one here, and it's on the next slide. These are the average viewers during the course of the time period in which these videos were pulled. So I was trying to figure out, now most of them released regularly, a couple of them didn't, particularly in this group for some reason, and you would see variations like this. And so my research goes through and explains maybe what's up with that. And then because here is video 5. Genre breakdown. I went a little more in depth compared to what YouTube, just because it calls them just entertainment, quote unquote. I feel like I should just break it down a little bit more. And then of course there are URLs. So the first slide is the clean sites. As you see, their names are right here. It's just the subscriptions. As you see, the Game Theorist way up here with their 12 million, or 11 plus million, I should say. You can pause the video if you want to actually see the breakdown like that. Here is the filtered. And then our number 1 is the Nerdist. Chris Hardwick has done his job. And then over here, Watch Mojo, which it really just dwarves everybody else. Now you're probably saying, whoa, you got these huge outliers, they're skewing your results. And yeah, I explained that later on, and I actually have alternative the show. Because I know some people are going to pick up on it right away. And I mean, I did, but I had to go through the first pass with all this information in here. And then I did a second pass with different information. So let's continue on. So here is viewership. Clean. This, of course, is the Game Theorist at 1.9 billion. And down here at 6.5 million is Chris Mcfeely. He just released, and I just read it. It took me 2 hours. Transformers Historia through IDW. It is a good read if you want to get the combined history of the Transformers. I guess the main continuity. It saddens me that the original cartoon and the Beast Wars Beast Machines lines aren't in it because they're considered a separate continuity now. But it's a good story. So, filtered viewers. See the numbers a little bit closer here, but then you have this here, and I explain why this happens in my findings. And then, of course, Watch Mojo with their 11 billion views. So we break down subscribers by clean, filtered, and salty. And as you see, salty is just a huge majority. And then we, again, straight up viewers. 15 billion for salty. Looks like Pac-Man. Okay, so let's move on to my findings. Just note, in case you didn't already know this, viewership is not subscriptions. Do not confuse them. So first, Salty gets the subscribers. It is just super clear, 32 million, 57% of total viewership. All but 2 of the Salty channels have over 1 million subscribers, which, and I will show you again, right here. And even if you remove the outliers of Watch Mojo and Game Theorist, Salty kind of still have the most subscribers. But then again, if you look more closely at the top 4 Salty channels, their pop culture and video games, while the 2 lowest ranks are technology-based. So RGT85 and ReviewTech USA are technology-based. I think, okay, so Watch Mojo, Screw Attack, and Game Ranks actually do countdown lists, like on the regular. And Team 4-Star, of course, has the Dragon Ball bridge and video game stuff and the voice acting, and that's what brings their fans in. So Salty also gets the most viewers. 11 billion. The Salty channel easily surpassed the clean ones for viewers, even having the highest view channel, as you see. Purely based on viewership, countdowns get a lot more attention in this group. Yeah. Filtered has an identity crisis. So you see Filtered is like 11% here, so what is whoosh? This results in inconsistent viewership. Looking at the channels, 3 of them have more diverse content, which actually differentiates them from the rest. It also makes them difficult to categorize when slapping a genre label on them. 2 of the top 4 filter channels are comic based, while the other 2 are anime based. The lower 4 are technology, toy, and video game based. So, technology, toy, technology, video game? Channels with regularly posted content have more consistent viewership. Duh. I mean, it's obvious, but duh. Spawnwave is the youngest. It is literally 2 years old and has both the subscription base and viewership numbers of a channel of 5 years. He offers daily news, product reviews, and teardowns of products for evaluation. He's right now on a order stuff from GameStop, tear it apart kick, which is getting a lot of viewers. As I've mentioned previously, if a site ranks anything, it is more popular than anything else short of theories on video games. Although I have to say, game theories, I guess, are more like conspiracies, so that brings out a lot of curiosity. Spoilers from upcoming comic book movies do come in a close third. But, you know, video games kind of get squeezed in there between the rankings, and it's just, wow. Thanks to Marvel and DC Comics Cinematic Universe plus Arrowverse, don't forget Arrowverse, sites like Variant Comics and Comic Book Resources, or CBR, are seeing a lot of new love that was previously shared domains of Nerdist and the New Rockstars. Anime fans love what if curated scenarios. Misako X, known as a voice actor for Team 4-Star, began a series many years back that consisted of scenarios featuring Dragon Ball characters. Geekdom 101 doesn't go into the same amount of details Misako does in his series, but he does involve fellow speculators. And in a short time, 12-year-old Misako, and in Geekdom 4 years, and more videos, 3 times the viewership, and already 150,000 more subscribers. There are different approaches, and I have to assume maybe because Geekdom comes out almost every day with something compared to Misako, who does kind of like daily spurts for a couple weeks and then stops and does a weekly thing. That could be it, and it actually most likely is it. Now, Geekdom does, and I think I just kind of highlighted it, he does a lot of coverage in current events, and Misako does not. And if he does, I have not seen them. But then we got the Game Theorists, Nerds, and Screw Attack benefit from network cross-promotion and multi-channel support through their networks. So, the Game Theorist there's a movie thing. The Nerdist has Because Science and some Alpha thing and whatever else Chris Hardwick is into, Screw Attack, Death Battles, etc., etc. Now, to be clear, they're not part of the same network. They're part of different companies altogether. And I'm not saying the other channels do not have network support, I'm just not seeing it. I believe there are some variations due to the subscriptions and viewership that could be attributed to this network support. So their earnings or viewership or subscriptions aren't entirely due to the fact of their content, but more that they're related to other properties on the same network. So, purely looking at growth based on annual averages, just show these numbers here. This is subscriptions and this is views. Animation and toys are slow to move, relatively speaking. Anime and technology squeezes in the middle with comic books, movies, and TV in the top of the pack. Then again, pop culture and video games obviously rule them all. So then I had some observations from watching all of these videos. At one point while watching these videos, I could have sworn that the people of Scott the Woz, RGB85, Review Tech USA, Wolfden, and Spawnwave all lived in the same house. It was for a number of reasons, sometimes crossovers or mentions, obviously, but because I saw common footage or topics were discussed in videos released in the same day and around the same time, I am also still not convinced that RGT85 ViewTech USA are not in the same house, but I think Scott the Woz lives in the same house with another channel that was not part of my research, because there was a scene where he threw some stuff and it ended up in a bookcase thing. And this bookcase had a bunch of games in it. And then I saw another site which used the same area for their video. And now I'm like, uh-oh. Is there just a house of people recording gaming videos? And where do I sign up? I don't... Okay, so. Speaking of Scott the Woz, I love that kid's antics. His sense of humor, and purposely... God, I hope it's purposely, because if it's just by accident... Wow. Cheesy special effects that could make sometimes dull topics downright hilarious. I think that The Gamer, Geekdom 101, Spawnwave, Toy Galaxy, and RGT85 would see a bit of a subscription and viewer bump if they would set up custom usernames for their YouTube channels, because a bunch of gibberish at the end does not make for easy linking. And you'll see that in the description of the video and also in these slides. Okay, now we get to some conclusions. If we perform a genre-based site-to-site channel comparison, we can say that content matters. Looking at RGT85, which is a salty channel, it is 4 years old with 34 million views and 120 videos. Comparatively, The Gamer, which is a clean channel, is just as old with slightly fewer videos but has 273 million views. We then find it is hard to come close to matching other channels in different categories. Similarly, if we cross genres, Little Karibo's, which is filtered, 11-year-old channel has nearly 778,000 subscribers with 350 million views and 589 videos. Then we have Review Tech USA Salty, 10-year-old channel that has nearly 800,000 subscribers with 322 million views and nearly 3,000 videos. This means that Review Tech USA has to work harder and push out more content just to get to the subscriber and viewership level that Little Karibo enjoys. I should add that profane content gets demonetized on YouTube, so that hurts the wallet a little bit. So, otherwise, it looks like what really contributes to the high subscriber numbers is if you do a countdown or some type of regular schedule. Game Rank, Screw Attack, and Watch Mojo and the like all produce content daily, often multiple times each day. The reason for the viewership variation of their individual videos is because the topic is not of any interest to a subset of the subscribers. For example, not everyone is going to like the top 10 times that Goku went Super Saiyan or the top 16 reasons to play Sonic 06. Which reminds me to play Sonic 06. Anyway. Did it really matter that salty sites did not filter language? Well, I think it did, but at a minimal amount. For me, I organize events for game companies, so I cannot swear and prefer not to expose myself to such content on a regular basis. I find too much exposure to profanity causes it to leak out during conversations, which is bad for business. When I found myself watching a tirade about Soulja Boy selling pirated software, I had to stop the video and look elsewhere. Coincidentally, I found another similar video on different channels with the same message and profanity, which led me to the aforementioned living situation theory. And then, I would like to believe that my hypothesis, and thus my theory, is correct, but it's inconclusive. Until I had gathered all of the information together, I could not see with any certainty where the results would lead me. However, there may be merit based on the classification numbers in my sample of 25. Now keep in mind, when I got these 25 channels said, recommended by YouTube or whatever, It was random. I do not know where they ranked anywhere. So there are 11 clean channels, 8 filter channels, and 6 salty channels. Simply by going by the classifications overall, would that not construe that there is some universal belief in my theory, since there are more clean channels than salty? Then again, it is all just a theory until we switch to this. We get rid of the outliers, like the countdown sites, and that includes Game Theorist, Mojo, Screwtag, GameRanks, and then we end up on a more balanced set of data. Then we have 10 clean, 8 filtered, and 3 salty channels. It shows that the clean channels have just a slight advantage over filtered channels and subscribers, but filtered and salty channels just have more viewers, but barely. What the numbers really tell me is that I could just manipulate the data all day if I wanted to get the results that I wanted, but that was not our goal. Then again, we can either all start swearing and or create countdown lists to grow our channels. We shall end here. Please take a moment to check the video description for the great resources that I used for the research, and thanks for watching. Thank you for checking out our content. Before you leave, please remember to click like and then subscribe. If you want to receive notifications, do not forget to enable them by clicking on the bell. Then afterwards, check out our social media at HaslageNet and our website at haslage.net.